Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Burnout, featuring myself, Kimberly Young, the number 24 Chase Elliott, and my wonderful co-host, Emily Research, COR, for Lisa, by Million. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, the screen is switching on hold. Usually, that means you can hear me.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. Let's just hope everyone else does too. The screen usually switches, I mean, but it's fine. So, anywho. Alright. Oh, there it switched. Things are funny. Coming out of Pocono, it's been just Pepsi and Drake.
I thought Pocono was going to be very good to Ryan Blaney, and it turned out not to be. So, a little bitter. Little bitter. It's fine. I also, was, feeling okay about Kyle's win, and then the news came out this week about the truck and Xfinity changes, and he opened his big mouth, and that changed my opinion real quick.
What did he say?
Seriously, you don't know?
I don't.
Did you miss the announcement this week?
Oh, no, I heard about that. I just didn't hear what he said about it.
Kyle said, okay, for those of you who are watching who have not seen the news yet this week, NASCAR made changes again. I know you're probably feeling very anxious about it, but it actually is a somewhat decent change, and I really respect it.
It could be more, but it's okay.
Yeah, it only changes things by 3 races. Yeah, pretty much 3 or 2, depending on which series you're in. Last year, well, at the beginning of this year, however you want to say it, NASCAR made the change that if you're an Xfinity and you're a full-time series cup driver that's been in for what, longer than 5 years now? Right, that's the rule. Pretty sure. You can only race in 10 races. Truck series was 7. And if you are in the Cup Series past 5 years, you can't race during their playoff season, essentially. NASCAR came out this week and said, nope, we're going to change it again. So now if you're in a Cup Series team full-time, you cannot race more than 5 races in the Cup Series and more than 7 races in the Xfinity Series. And not only that, but now no driver, depending on however long you've been in, you could be a rookie for God's sake, you can't race in the playoff season. It's going to complicate things for the 22 if you think about it. Specifically the Team Penske car, because the 22 of Team Penske only races Cup drivers.
Yeah.
I knew that one was going to get them into trouble quickly. Anyways, our loving, doting driver of the 18 car, Kyle Busch, decided to open his mouth about the situation, which I respect him for his opinions on it. However, I think he would have been more, when you hear what he said, I think you'll agree with me. He might have been more productive if he would have just went straight to NASCAR with his issues instead of taking it to the press. When asked how he felt about it, Kyle said that if they diminish the truck series down to you cannot race in it if you are a cup driver, he will shut down Kyle Busch Motorsports because he's not going to help put people in a car to replace him if he can't race in that equipment.
No, I didn't hear that. That ain't right.
Like, so Kevin and Delana did this a few years ago with KHI, I think that's what it was called at the time, where they started a team and then they had their own financial issues. It had nothing to do with NASCAR. They had their own financial issues. They shut down the team. I mean, it was when they were trying to have Keelan and everything. I get it. A baby's expensive, no matter who you are. You could be Bill Gates, and he'd still be expensive. The baby would still be expensive. I get it. This is different, though. This is strictly a retaliation against NASCAR's decision. there is a reason why the ticket sales have dropped for trucks and for Xfinity. Fans are tired of watching Cup drivers win those races. They want to see the new blood, essentially, try hard. And seeing them win all the time is frustrating. And Kyle Larson actually had a really good statement on it. He was like, when I was in those series and a Cup driver would come down, it would push me to work harder because, I want to beat them. I want to show my heat. Yeah.
Where, Cup drivers will be the challenge, but you still have...
But you still have main series drivers winning.
Right.
You got 3 drivers winning. And the fact that Kyle Busch is now biting the hand that has fed him for how many years by saying that, nobody should be a fan of him at this point. You're literally saying that you're trying to stop the progressiveness of the sport because you're bitter because they told you probably can't drive the truck. Really? They didn't even make that announcement yet. They have every right to limit it.
He said he would shut down KBM.
Uh-huh.
If
he didn't say it specifically, but he alluded to it. And then was asked about it multiple times.
I mean, because that's an insult. That's leaving other drivers coming up without a ride that he could give.
Yeah. The worst part is then people asked him if what he meant, and he was like, "You all knew what I meant." You're not helping yourself. You wonder why people don't like you? This is why. You didn't hear Brad Keselowski come out with a statement like that. Not at all. Because guess what? No matter what, whether or not you're allowed to ride in that truck or not, guess whose pocket's still getting padded with the money? And I can guarantee it's not said driver who's driving that truck. I can guarantee it's the person whose name is on that truck.
Yep.
So you're still getting paid. So really, you're going to put up a fight about it? And this is why he's one of the most hated drivers of this sport.
I felt like he's better than Busch.
He literally just keeps nailing his coffin shut more and more. Not literally, guys. It's an expression, I swear. But
yeah, be careful in today's world. I take it seriously.
You know what I mean, though? He's digging his hole deeper.
In other news,
that's been my anger all week, so it's fine.
The overtime line, and since I've been thinking about it for 24 hours, I'll explain it. I'm telling you, when I first read the notification on my phone, I walked in the living room where my family was, and I started laughing. I mean, I didn't even tell them why. I just started laughing. Here's why. Now I'll do it again. So, we know how the overtime line works, okay? They drop the green flag if the cars make it around.
I'm glad you and I are on the same page as this, because I know what you're going to say before you even say it, and I'm really happy that we're on the same page.
And if they get to the overtime line, okay, there's a wreck. If they are past the overtime line, the caution comes out, the race is called. Winner and exit. If they don't pass the overtime line, they have to do another restart or try it all over again. Okay, that's how we know how it works. People, for the first time, and since they started this fantastic rule in 1 or 2 years, however long it's been, I finally understand it. And guess what? We are moving, as of the next race, we are moving the overtime line to the start-finish line.
So really, essentially what this means is the white flag wins, or the white flag waves, caution comes out, that's the winner.
The way the green white checkers have been for how many years?
Jesus. I just saw that. That's what I was talking about that I had just seen.
I mean, I started laughing because the more I understood it, I'm like, we're just going back to what it was before you invented the dumb rule.
but you want to be cool and make it seem like it's an overtime line. Really?
No, they still said it's called the overtime line. It's just going to be at the service.
I literally just saw that as I like logged on to the video chat, and I was like, wait a minute, what?
I mean, I read it, I walked out of my room, and I just started laughing. I mean, it was funny.
Their statement on it just blows my mind.
What was their statement? Because I was too busy laughing. I probably missed a few points along the way.
Literally, this is what the article says. The procedure is similar to the previous green-white checkered restart rules, but there is no longer a maximum number of attempts at the finish.
Okay, so making it unlimited tries instead of the 3 beforehand, right? Which is what it used to be.
So it used to be unlimited, and then they moved to the maximum number of 3. Now it's just you get 1 and that's it.
Okay.
The worst part is this was their quote about it, though. I don't know if you read the actual quote. I'm just annoyed. After many discussions with key figures throughout the industry, we recognize that having the start-finish line serve as the standard overtime line position will benefit the race, and most importantly, our fans. We are implementing this immediately, starting with this weekend's races at Watkins Glen.
Like it's and, you know, race fans younger than us will not have a.
First of all, this literally is not changing anything, really. It's going back to the way that it was, and you only get 1 shot.
It works.
I'm sorry, did I, like, miss something at all? I want to know who I want to know who they talked to about this study.
So
they remind me of the Weather Channel people. Do you know why?
Probably so, because I stopped watching the Weather Channel years ago, but carry on.
So, NASCAR, the people that write the policies and the rules remind me a lot of the Weather Channel people because they spend all
Maybe like
going to school and, like, you know, trying to be, like, knowledgeable in their field. And then they make these decisions, like the weather people saying that the weather is going to happen and then it's completely different. Or NASCAR coming up with these rules and then changing it every time. They're the same person.
Crap.
Like,
you're stupid and don't know anything.
I saw that today and I was like, wait a minute. This can't be real. In other news, Target is no longer sponsoring Kyle Larson or anybody in motorsports for that matter.
Yep.
I think they're reformatting their brand, though, because there was an announcement made right as soon as that announcement came out about their cartwheel program. So it seems like they're trying to do a rebranding of their company. Like, you know, try to appeal to more customers and not spend as much money, it seems like.
Yep.
Which is interesting, though, because Kyle Larson's won how many races this year, and you're going to take your name off of the car that's been in victory lane how many times?
I think it was his last. He made like a sarcastic tweet like, "Yeah, you're doing great for our brand, and we'll yank you," or, you know, he was making a sarcastic.
Yeah, Brad never really makes any bones about situations like that, and he always makes me laugh because he's so blatantly honest about it. I love it. Mobil 1 is going to continue being the official oil of NASCAR.
Surprise.
Shocking. I know. Okay, so we have to talk about it just because I'm, like, crying from laughing so hard about the whole situation. What do you think is really going on with Stuart Haas and Kurt Busch?
I don't know. I really haven't heard much about it, to be honest with you.
Have you been living under a rock this week?
Maybe.
I think you have. I've seen you posting on Facebook, so I know you're on social media. So what aren't you looking at? It's summer season. Hello, stay up to date. Let's go. Come on.
Okay, yeah, it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me.
So For those of you who are unaware, this week the media sent out a release saying that Kurt Busch would not be in the 40.
Yeah, I remember now.
Would not be in the 41. The next year for the 2018. On the 28 or for the 2018 season. This is the article that Motorsport put. 6 months after winning NASCAR's biggest race, Kurt Busch is now a victim of the wildest, silly season in recent memory. Stewart-Haas Racing has informed Busch that the organization will not pick up the option on the 2017 Daytona 500 winner and 2004 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion for next season. Stewart-Haas has until midnight on Tuesday, when the company's option expires, to reverse its decision, but the expectation is that Busch will not drive the number 41 Ford for SHR in 2018. But Stewart-Haas decided to tweet out saying, "We don't comment on contract status, but we expect Kurt Busch back in our Monster Energy Haas Automation Ford in 18. Just saying."
Okay, I've got to say it. Fake news.
Well, Nicole made a really good point. I saw Nicole, and I think the other girl's name is Courtney. I'm friends with her on social media. I know she follows our site. I just don't know how to pronounce her last name. Anyways, her and Nicole were talking about it. I creep on social media for all of you that don't know, so
I think we all have a creeper inside of us.
But Nicole shared the article, and they made up a really good point. This either could be true, and SHR is mad that the media released it first, so they retracted it so that they can make the announcement themselves, or they're mad that the media is causing all sorts of drama and decided to make a statement on it.
Why would
Either way.
I mean,
Either way, pretty interesting.
What would be their intentions in stirring up that particular drama?
I don't know, there's a lot of open cars still for next year.
Yeah, I'm thinking, okay, there's a lot of drama they could stir up.
Oh, yeah, because guess what? There's still speculation for teams out of the 5. There's still speculation on that Casey Hayden out of the 5 for next year. And to add to BK Racing and Greg Galding are now in a contract dispute for $2 million. And they have been subtweeting each other and saying, and having subtweeting comments, literally subtweeting, I say that in quotations, for comments and pressers. Because that's not dramatic. But this also isn't the first time that this has happened with BK Racing, because I was reading earlier today that it happened with, who did they say? With, I think, Bubba I saw. Maybe it wasn't Bubba. I forget who it was. But this isn't the first time this has happened. I don't know. It's weird. Weird. Can I talk about what's really important? Do you know where I'm going with this?
Probably.
Does it have to do with the 88 car?
Maybe.
I don't know who was watching the news this week or the announcement last night, but I literally cried like a little girl on Christmas because I was so happy. For those of you who are unaware, which if you're a normal viewer, you should be completely aware, that I have been a Junior fan since I was 3 years old. That's a long time. That's a long time. I am a proud member of Junior Nation, and I wear that very proudly. You have no idea how proudly I wear that. I am a Blaney fan. I will always be a Blaney fan. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. is one of my favorites. And I was a fan of him before Blaney's 6 months younger than me. So I was a fan of Blaney, or of Junior before Blaney was probably even talking or something like that. Anyways. I was probably talking. He probably wasn't talking. That's how this goes. Anyways. Eleanor Jr. announced what his final paint scheme would be this year for his final ride as a full-time Cup driver. I'm going to get emotional talking about it. And for those of you bandwagon fans who jumped on after he, went to Hendrick Motorsports, I'll get to you later. Anyways, Junior raced in the 8 with Budweiser for a very long time. I actually have the car hood around here somewhere. I have a literal car hood from one of his wrecked cars. Yes, it's great. It's so great. And it's time that it's even better. Free my uncle got it for me.
Ah, how much did it cost him?
I don't want to know. That I also have a lamp from when Junior raced in the 8 and when Senior had just passed. It is it's like a bar lamp, and on like the glass slats, it is Senior looking down on Junior with both cars in the picture. BRB gonna cry. Anyways. Junior is taking it back to his number 8 days. He will be driving the 88, and it's not Budweiser, unfortunately. I was very sad when I saw that it was Exalta. However, the paint scheme is the replica of the 8 Budweiser car, and I have cold chills just thinking about it. So, no, the worst part is like, he knows it's been hard for his fans, so he's just got to drive that dagger a little bit deeper and make it even more emotional.
But dang if you don't, because if they didn't do it, it makes you sad if you did do it. You got happy tears, so.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, though, because somebody tweeted to him this week, like, do you think you'll do another replica of your dad's car this season? He was like, no, I did it once, and it was fun, and I'm not going to do it again. So I commend him for, making this season about him and not, his dad is always honored, but this season is about him and his last ride. And I think he's doing it very well. I'm going to cry. I'm very sorry. I think he's doing it very well for his fans. He's giving them the ride that they deserve, just like Jeff Gordon did, just like Tony Stewart did. I commend him for doing this. There's the Carl Edward fans who had no idea. Like, that's sad. And so, Biff's not racing this year. He's not technically retired, but Biff's not racing this year. It's just, I'm glad he's doing it the way that he's doing it. I just wish it wasn't so hard to see. But for those of you who have not seen the car, go check it out. It's all over social media, NASCAR's Instagram, Dale Jr.'s Instagram, Hendrick Motorsports' Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's also on Junior Motorsports' Instagram.
I'm pretty sure it's all over the World Wide Web and Facebook and Twitter and everywhere.
Yeah. Just Google his name, and I'm pretty sure it's one of the first things that comes up because it's so new.
All right. Penalties for this week. With the IEA, but we have several to talk about. Do you have that? Or do you have to
I do have that.
Hard to avoid it this week.
The number 77 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series team, driven by Eric Jones, they got a. I'm not going to read the numbers because nobody knows what the actual numbers are. Spacers, pinion angles, shins must conform to the following drawing. Yeah, because everybody has a visual drawing of that. It must be planar and must be in complete contact with corresponding mating surfaces at all points and all times. Because of this,
what does that even mean?
I don't know. Essentially, it has to be flush. Like, there has to be no space in between them.
And what part is that on the car?
Something in the rear. The truck trailing arm spacer. Pinion egg. Mating. I don't know what that part is. Anyways, the 8th place finish at Pocono will be encumbered, and crew chief Chris Gale has been fined $50,000. What?
How do you encumber? Okay, they're encumbering finishes, period, not just wins?
Yeah.
Okay, that's new.
Fined $50,000, suspended for 2 Cup Series races. Team loses 25 owner and driver points. The reason they're encumbering them is because then they're taking the good finish away, essentially. So they lose their points. The other penalties handed down in the Monster Cup Series garage were all for lug nuts not properly installed.
Okay.
It was the 18, the 17, and the 6. They're all fined. Their crew chiefs are all fined $10,000 as a result. The penalty in the Xfinity Series garage was for Ryan Reed in the 16 car. Lug nuts not properly installed, $5,000 was fined the crew chief. And the same thing happened to the number 52 Truck Series team. The crew chief was fined $2,500.
And again, I could stress my opinion about all that good stuff, but we won't go there. Go to the archives and listen to what we have to say.
That's a way to get the people to our page.
Yeah, go to the archives. We said some interesting stuff about lug nuts. And we promised.
And the whole encumbered thing.
Yep. I feel like I'm missing some news here. I'm scrolling through the page. If you got anything. I think we got everything, though. Watkins Glen.
Ugh. Another thing you can check for the Another thing you can check in the archives is our distaste for road course races.
I mean, it's not that I like hate it. Maybe like you said you do, but at the same time, I hate it.
No, I have a lot of anger towards them, actually.
Okay, like I said before, you can't go to a road race and enjoy it unless you're the driver.
You can't see anything!
Meow. 5 minutes later. Meow. 5 minutes later. I mean, unless you have a really good, like scanner system and all that good. I mean, you literally have to be watching the race on the television channel on your phone as you're sitting there in the stand. To even get anything out of the race.
But yeah, because the monitors or the TVs that they put up at road courses are never big enough to see what's going on. All right, Watkins Glen, almost 2.5. It's 2.45 mile paved road course. It has 7 turns with a variety of banking and turns ranging from 6 to 10 degrees. It opened in 1956. The last repavement was in 2015. The length of the front stretch is 2,150 feet, and the length of the back stretch is 2,600 feet. Our 2016 race winner was none other than the 11 car Denny Hamlin. Race record was Mark Martin at 103.9 miles per hour. Kyle Busch is our youngest winner at 23 years old, 3 months and 8 days. Our oldest winner was Jeff Bodine at 47 years old. Our 2016 pole winner is no longer in the NASCAR Cup Series, Carl Edwards. Youngest pole winner was Jeff Gordon at 27 years old. Most wins is Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart tied at 4. Most poles tied, Mark Martin, Dale Sr., and Jeff Gordon. Most top 5s, Mark Martin with 12, and most top 10s, 16, Mark Martin. The most cautions we've ever had is 8, and the last time that happened was actually last year in the 2016 race. Most wins by manufacturer. Chevy has 17, Ford with 8, Pontiac with 4, Toyota with 3, Buick with 1, and Mercury with 1. Road course wins. So this doesn't have to do with Watkins Glen particularly, but I think it's interesting to know. Jeff Gordon leads the pack with most wins at road courses with 9, Tony Stewart with 8. And then the next full-time driver that's still in the Cup Series is Kyle Busch with 4, which is interesting.
Okay. And
So let's hope he doesn't add number 5 to it this weekend. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
yeah, you did.
I'm really not that sorry.
While we're on that trail, who's your pick?
Can I pick nobody?
What?
Can I pick nobody? They'll all just wreck each other.
Oh, that ain't happening. It's Pro 4. I mean, well, it could happen, but it'd be very rare.
I don't even know.
I don't think you will.
What?
Just don't pick what I'm thinking of. I don't think you will. But
Who are you picking? Because I really don't know.
I'm going to pick Allmendinger.
Solid pick, actually.
I'm going to pick him because I'm a Mr. Pickle super fan.
Oh my god.
Like, I can't remember his band club. I mean, I could be the band club president, and it's a real course, so I've got to pick him.
It's a solid pick.
Yep.
I have like 4 I'm trying to decide between.
I mean, did you heard Mr. Pickle's story? I mean, that is the rags to riches story. I mean, shoot. They can make a movie out of that story. It is so good.
Are you for real right now?
Yeah. I mean, one day he's living in the slums. The next he's flying jets and a superstar on commercials. I mean, it's the ultimate rags to riches music story. Okay?
Are you okay over there? Do you need a minute?
I'm good. I'm curious if I had a book idea in mind. I'll always joke and stuff about it.
I'm gonna go with Harvick.
Not bad. Pretty solid.
I would say Dale Earnhardt Jr., but he's not the greatest at road course races, so we're gonna pass on that. That's gonna be a hard pass.
And then he'll win.
We can only hope. We can only hope he can give his fans 1 win this season. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not even asking for a championship. Although I was promised one. I was promised one when he went to Hendrick.
I just don't
we'll have a championship.
During the week of holidays. Because just talking about it, the media will talk about it, and I hate it. I don't believe in jinxing and all that stuff, but I just, every time they harp on it so much, it's like it doesn't even like it.
I'm just saying, I was promised a championship and I didn't get one. It's leaving a bitter taste in my mouth if you haven't noticed.
Alright, have we covered all our new faces? Dog where former team owner passed away.
Mm-hmm. I'm
not familiar with his name actually. Who was he an owner of?
It was Scott, right?
Yeah, Harry Scott Jr. He's a co-owner in the Xfinity, probably.
Oh, he owned H. Scott Motorsports. Huh. They completed up until last season with Allgaier, Boyer, and Nanette. That's who. He also was co-owner for Turner Scott, which is in the Xfinity. It was in the Xfinity and truck until 2014.
Gotcha. Sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps up this week. Covered all the major news. As always, guys, don't forget to head over to NASCARFemale.com and read all the wonderful stories our ladies are to write. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those wonderful social media outlets. And we'll see y'all back here again next week for the Burnout. Thursday night at 9 Eastern. Thank y'all for joining us. Have a great night.
Night, y'all.